Do you like wine? What about barbecue? How about family drama? The Netflix film Uncorked tackles all of those, and it features the always awesome Courtney B. Vance. A young man who desires to become a master sommelier has to learn to deal with expectations of his father, taking over the family business, and pursuing his dreams. Mamoudou Athie stars as Elijah, and he is a shy, timid young man who he kind of stutters his way through things, or at least is very unconfident in his responses and in just his demeanor. And he is the one who wants to be the master sommelier. He has this desire, he has this dream, but he's now coming up against his father and his family pressure to take over the family barbecue business. And that's where the real expectation and the conflict comes in for him, that he has to deal with and confront his father. His father took over the family business from the grandfather. Courtney B. Vance plays Elijah's dad, and he's awesome. I love him. I mean, I remember I've enjoyed him since I first saw him in Hunt for Red October, and then I absolutely loved him in The Last Supper, which, by the way, that indie film, if you have not seen it, go check that out. It is superb. But Vance brings his dry sarcasm and wit to this. I mean, he is biting at points, and he's not always likable. I mean, he has this abrasive quality to him, but it adds to the genuineness of his character. He's working as hard as he can to support his family, to just build his business, the business that he took over from his father. Now, did he want to? I don't know, but that's what he did. And so now he has the expectation that his son will take the business over as well. He can pass this along as their family legacy. Niecy Nash plays the mom, and she is awesome as well. And she also brings a great chemistry with Vance. I mean, they work so well together, and she balances his grump with just her wit and her upbeatness and her love and compassion. And I just love how they work together, but then also separately. The heart of this story is family, and it's also the struggle of the father-son relationship and just how they deal, how they work with each other through their issues. Do they communicate? Do they not? And really in that, it comes through as so genuine. I mean, you see them because it's not always smiles and giggles and hugs. I mean, it is disappointment. It is just, looks. And so anybody who's ever had to deal with a parent and the parent's expectations, it will resonate with you, because you feel when a parent has this for you, but you want to choose this. And then that conflict that exists between the two, how do you work that out? And how do you remain just loving towards each other and maintain that relationship? It doesn't always work. Now, not everything is awesome with this movie. The editing in it is kind of odd at points. It makes some weird time jumps and weird just editing decisions that don't always make a lot of sense, that are just a bit jarring as we're watching it. But one thing that was really awesome is the soundtrack. I mean, I was digging it. It's mostly hip hop, but it also changed in tone with the locale that we were seeing. And so it was really awesome to just have it set the mood as we went along in the story. I wish, though, that they would have played out more of the songs, that it wouldn't have been sometimes a hard cut, that it would have just faded out as the scene progressed. But again, that's an editing choice there. That's on them. It didn't really distract with the music, but the cutting of the film or the scene changes abruptly, that was a little bit jarring and a little bit distracting. Now, there are more than a handful of supporting characters in this, and for the most part, they don't really get that much development. A few of them are in there for token laughs, and even at that point, some of it's a little cringy. Some of it works, and some of it I did chuckle through. And the supporting characters, I, for the most part, enjoyed also. It wasn't that I didn't like them. It's just we don't know that much about them. And they're building onto the family and just in their relationships. And so it would have been nice to have a little bit more with them, a little bit more depth to them, so that we know who these people are versus them just showing up and then just we accepting that they're part of this group. I mean, some of them, I don't think they even had a name. So that would have been nice as we see these people more than once, that we have a name to attach to them. There are parts throughout the film where I felt the time also that the pace drug just a little bit. And that was mostly as Eli is studying. And I think it could have been trimmed up or done in just a different way so that it would have moved it along so that we didn't lose the urgency of what was going on and just the pace of the overall story. But that being said, I don't think it hurt the actual story itself. Sure, it got a little boring at times in the storytelling, but the story itself was still solid. The relationships and the growth shown in this are really the reason to watch. I mean, even the ending is outstanding because of how it illustrates growth. And it really comes down to two spoken lines that if you're not paying attention, you miss it, and then it changes the perception of how the film ends. I thought it was powerful, and I really liked it because of what it showed for our characters and for the overall story, for the family drama. Despite some of the awkward editing choices, the underdeveloped characters, and even some minor pacing issues, the relationship and the story and just the drama that we see between father and son and mom in there as well, just this whole entire family and the struggle that they go through, the growth that they show, and just the dialogue that we get to see, that makes it reason enough to watch. They do phenomenal in that. There's sex, maybe brief nudity, some profanity, and no violence. I give Uncorked 4 out of 5 couches. So do you like wine? What's your favorite? Mine? It's single malt whiskey. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.